Hi, everybody. Alright, I want you to take a good look at this photo again. This is Dannel Malloy, the sitting governor of Connecticut. And there's something you should know about this sitting governor. Connecticut Governor Malloy moves to strip citizens of their gun rights without trial. This is supposed to be legitimate. Governor Dannel Malloy announced today, let's see what day, that was December 10, so it was about 2 days ago, that he will issue an executive order stripping gun rights of some state citizens without them having been accused of or charged with a crime. Malloy, a Democrat, said that his state would become the first in the United States to implement a rule linking gun ownership to the no-fly list. President Obama has called for Congress to institute such a measure in the wake of San Bernardino shooting last week. A measure that would have prevented people on a no-fly list to buy guns failed in the Senate. A day after San Bernardino shooting, Republicans argue that stripping people of their Second Amendment rights is a violation of due process. And this is going to affect approximately 300,000 people, said the Obama administration. And this is what their plan is, folks. They can easily say that your politics, you're this, you're that, are the reason that you are on a list, and you will not be removed from that list, and you have your guns forfeited. They can easily put you on for any number of things, any number of purposes, this or that, and they can basically come and collect your goods when you're not home. And basically it says even the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, has recognized that these lists are inaccurate, unconstitutional, and unfairly target supposedly Muslims, people of color, and others. More than likely under Obama, it would be mostly veteran gun owners who, did their time with their country, this or that. And by veteran, I don't mean veteran police and military, probably just police or military at this point, but I imagine a lot of them would be police, sheriffs especially, etc., etc., etc. So, I mean, this is coming, folks. Remember, this guy here is with this guy here. Okay? And it's all coming from the United Nations and everywhere else, folks. This is not their game. This is not what they want. This is what they're being told to do. And certain things are happening to basically put it all in perspective. Now, if you really want to get something to read about all the mass killings in Africa when they confiscated the guns. There's supposedly a large fight that happened in Africa in several countries when the United Nations implemented the disarmament controls or the gun bans, etc., and they came in for the AKs and stuff in various areas of the world. Now, I guarantee you they're not going to go into Mogadishu, because I think America learned its lesson. Don't go in that area again, ever. It's an unfortunate thing for those U.S. soldiers who were wounded and killed. But, this is the way the world will work for the next 50 or so years until we get some people who are smarter, who are going to say, you know what, every person should carry a gun. Problem solved. In fact, you know what, you're not carrying a gun. Guess what, 2 weeks in jail for you. Problem solved. And then basically, upon becoming 18, let everybody get run through a minor police authority program. And that way you can rotate in the different positions, this and that, and even get a certification or two and help out your community, whole bunch of other things. You know, if you want to become an EMT guy, after that, they'll certify you for an EMT. Any number of things. But only if you keep your gun on you. You have to keep your gun. That's exactly what I would say. If you're not wearing a gun, you're denied entrance. But I'm not wearing a gun. Yeah, that's why you're denied entrance. I don't understand. Well, too bad. So, this is not something I made up. This is not something Bearing Arms made up, folks. This is something, folks, that will be happening. And I don't know exactly what this will mean. More than likely, it'll be like it was when he said, turn in your assault rifles, and there were like 150,000 people who went, no. So, it is what it is, folks. I mean, go ahead and look at all the stuff that happened when the British tried this. They banned the guns, they banned the powder, they made it stupid high price to get any of that for any purpose. And it turned out to be a holy mess. Now, even I'm looking back at the history books and I'm seeing lots of errors. Lots of things that did not exactly happen, especially in the numbers that people say they did. I recently did a study, or rather looked into the Michigan Civil War, or the state's participation in the U.S. Civil War. And I tried to find out the major areas these soldiers had supposedly fought in and how many body parts and bones and stuff they found in the site, rifles, etc. And when you start looking, you start noticing that the figures don't line up. Now, if 20 guys died, you should have had 20 rifles, or at least like 15 or so, right? Right. There should be an account that's somewhat accurate. But I'm finding areas where like 1,000 people supposedly fought and like half were wounded and or killed, and they only found like, you know, enough evidence to support that maybe 20 or 30 people were there, period. Not even the people who died, just like what they're finding. Yeah, I know that when the army moves, it takes all the gear with them, etc., etc., etc. But the idea is basically the same here. That these guys are going to try it. They've already spent the money. They've already bankrupted the world economies to try it. So they're going to try it, folks. I hate to say it, but they're going to try it. I hope they will never, but I think they're already going to. So I'm not saying, you know, keep all your guns in the house or do this or do that, but definitely, you know, don't keep all your eggs in one basket is what I would kind of go with. You know, don't put them places where, you know, you're going to get in trouble for having them, but I guarantee you the second this gets made into law, folks, those police can show up at your house when you're at work. They got people watching your house now, and I almost guarantee it. They know when you're coming. They know when you're going. They know who's there, who's not. They can have people go up in your house, take your stuff, and leave. And they can even put it on a charge. You can go, oh my God, somebody took my guns. And it won't even say, you know, order of city police or order of federal authority XYZ 114. So they're going to try it, folks. It's going to happen. And I hate to tell you, all these neighbors and stuff you have that are diehard patriots, only half of them are going to give a shit. They're only going to give a shit when it actually affects you. Or them, rather. Because I have a couple neighbors like that right now. They're, you know, you get them drunk, they start talking, they start bitching, they start doing this. But when you say, hey, you know, why don't we, you know, get some ammo together and go shooting? Oh, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. And they just start making up excuses. So sooner or later, when shit does hit the fan, if it ever does, half those guys will snitch on you quicker than anything. That's how they're going to handle half this shit. I guarantee it, folks. So watch out in Connecticut for this gun ban, because I guarantee you this is coming, folks. And once they get it successful in one state, it's going to spread like wildfire, saying, we have done this successfully. Now, allow us to do it in your state. And that's when you got to get everybody with their guns, even the little kids out there with their air rifles or whatever you're safe with them having, and, get them to say, hey, no. And say, if you guys sign legislation, we're going to sign legislation to have you kicked out of, office or whatever. Whatever it takes, folks. I'm not instigating any violence, but those are not good people. So, thanks, guys.